Sante and welcome to the Sorare Lounge, hosted by the Sorare Thursday Club. I am your host, Ricky, aka the Sorare Mamba, and I am joined as always by my glamorous co-host, play sharper Everton expert and all-round duck lover, Dornado, also known as Johnny. How are we this evening, sir?
I'm very good, mate. I was just who's that curly head guy in the intro video? I've no idea who that is.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
It's Mafia, I think.
That's
is his street name?
Yeah. One of the original founding members. But yeah, no, I'm good. Obviously, we're fresh off watching Bristol City last night, so we had a good time. Bristol City had a good time as well. So yeah, all good.
In the badge. Yeah, we'll get to that. A little bit of Bristol City chat. We'll be chatting all things, so really from all the things people are moaning about through to all the new specials and everything in between. But yeah, we were at Bristol City last night. Bristol City Blackburn, to be specific. Got to watch a couple of our cards in action. Scotty Twine and Ross McCrory.
Right.
Convincing 5-0 win, which is why I'm repping the shirt tonight. In respect for that absolute trouncing we gave Blackburn fighting for relegation. I got to see one of my OG Sorare legends, Sondre Tronstad. I think he was at Vitesse, wasn't he?
That's right.
All that time ago. Plays for Blackburn now. Pumping out the 32 score over 81 minutes last night. Good game though, wasn't it?
It was a good game. I mean, I very much enjoyed watching the Blackburn defenders try to defend. You can see the red scores there. 4 of those red scores played 90 minutes. We're looking 0.40. What was the actual AA of the guy who got 0?
Yeah, so it was Dominic Hyam got the lesser seen 3 negative decisives from an outfield player. Conceded a penalty and had 2 errors led to goal, and they're all legit. We were there. These were legit. Correct negative decisives for a minus 26.9 AA score. So yeah, would have finished on minus 26 if we didn't cap the score.
Really bad. I mean, Blackburn, I thought started okay. First sort of 5-10 minutes looked pretty assured, and just completely capitulated. Stunk of a team that have been struggling a little bit at the foot of the table. I don't think they'll get relegated by the looks of it, but. Yeah.
It was made all the more sweeter because obviously we were at the game. We had a little rivals match up on the game, and you thought you'd be clever and go for the Blackburn stack.
I did. I just thought Blackburn had more to fight for. Bristol City are sort of already settled in mid-table and can't really do anything, can they? I was thinking Blackburn will be up for it. You know, they've made a big trip down from up north, and I was proven to be a complete idiot. Even more of an idiot than the guy that was sat behind us the whole game. That just insulted Bristol City players the entire time. Was an absolute disgraceful fan, actually, I thought. But
in his Bristol City shirt, yeah.
In his Bristol City shirt. I don't know if he's watching. Presume he's not watching the show. But you're a bit of a prick, mate.
If you're one of the 7 fans that watch our 7 people that watch our show, yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Wind your neck in. Yeah, the keeper there, Pears, actually recovered to about a 10.8 with a couple of late saves, I think. Pickering with a 9.1, a dead 0, and Callum Britton over here with a minus 34.56 AA managed to stave off the 0 with a 0.4.
So he actually did commit an error led to goal, but it led to the penalty, didn't it? So the actual person who gave the penalty away was the person who got the error led to goal.
27 possessions lost, 9 duels lost, minus 35.
Well, I started him in my arena match and my rivals match against you. So it's a good job. I actually got a positive score by getting a 0 because it would have been negative 34.5. Bad day for me in arenas, but actually great to see Bristol City win, and that continues my run of somewhere between 15 and 20 games from my first ever City game. And not seeing a 0-0 yet. So, I think that might be the highest home win that we've seen, or I've seen with you.
Decent. They also had Carl McFadden's come on. He's got a card on Sarah, didn't he? Because he was at Coventry. So he's got a card. Came on at half-time, managed to concede a penalty and ends up with 2.4 as well. So,
and has the world's biggest ass I think I've ever seen.
Okay. It's not something I had noticed, but there you go. Possibly the Sorare player with the biggest arse on the game is the shout from Johnny there.
Fabianski's conceded.
Oh no. I am playing Lucas Fabianski tonight. I was in the top 20 in the Continental Night Special. Fabianski was on 100. But yeah, he's just conceded near the end, which is obviously not great for me. But he did have strong AA, so maybe he'll still pull a prize, but probably not a tier 1 anymore. But we will move on from Bristol City. Just had to get that joyous part of our season in as we actually won 5-0. We've got lots to get through, but as usual, I like to warm up with 5 questions to get your mind in gear and what we affectionately call 5 and kicking. Except today I got carried away and I've expanded it to 7 questions, all along the theme of name that winner. I'm going to throw a quick bonus one in. It's the start of the Masters, one of my favourite sporting events of the year. Just watching Tiger Woods tee off on the first. Who's going to win the Masters, Johnny?
Well, it's very difficult to give one answer here. Do I have to give one answer?
You have to give one answer, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you a short list. So, it's very difficult to look past Scheffler. I'd love to see Rory McIlroy win. I don't think he will. But my outside random pick is Wyndham Clark. I think he might win it.
Okay. Wyndham for the win.
Yeah.
And how can we make this relate to Sorare? We'd like to see golf onboarded soon. How about that?
That'd be good.
Sorare golf.
Maybe I'll give away another golf club during this Masters on Twitter.
Oh, yes. When we're new to the podcasting world, and we're like, how can we make ourselves seem exciting? Johnny's like, I've got a great prize giveaway. I'm going to give away a golf driver. Took quite a few attempts to get it shipped successfully to someone.
Yeah, I think I had about 10 entrants. It wasn't my most successful idea, but it was a good way of getting it out of the house because I didn't want it anymore. So
you could say that people who go on to a football fantasy game to collect digital collectible JPEGs of their footballers might not be overly interested in a golf club as their main prize.
Well, the first person that won it was actually from Iran and didn't have a golf club in anywhere near him. So we decided to not send that out to him.
Yeah. Update, I'm on 403 points in 28th position now with Fabianski still on 80.
Oh, Jesus.
So tier 2. That's my update for the no people that care. But
I care, mate.
We can make another small video that no one will watch about me opening the tier 2 prize.
Come on, we'll go global. We'll go global for that one.
Okay. So where was I? Oh, yeah. Name the winners. So we're going to hit you with the football questions now. Who wins what is affectionately known as the worst league on Sorare, according to Andrew Laird, the SPFL? Draw at the weekend, wasn't there? A late comeback.
Massive draw. Actually ended up being a very good point for Rangers in the end because they were 3-2 down in the 92nd minute or something, weren't they? And then scored a very late equaliser. I believe they're 1 point behind with the game in hand, Rangers. Is that right?
I believe that's correct against the so rare juggernaut that is Celtic.
Yeah, so I think the momentum's on Rangers' side a little bit. Celtic are flagging a little bit. I don't think that Brendan Rodgers coming back has really, made them hit the heights they were under his first managerial time. But I'm going to go for Rangers. Celtic were always my Scottish team when I was growing up. Because you remember when they used to show Celtic and Rangers games on BBC back in the day, and obviously I didn't have Sky Digital when I was growing up, so that was about the only games I could watch. Celtic were always my team out of the two with Henrik Larsson, but I'm going to go for Rangers this time.
Going to go for Rangers. Rangers were always my team out of the two. Championship manager days when you used to like have a team in each league because I'd always pick Rangers. They were always the one for me, so I would like to see Rangers do it. I do think Celtic are probably the strongest squads, but that doesn't mean a lot. I don't know the fixture run-ins or things like that, but I'm gonna plump for Celtic. So we'll have one each there. But I'd like to see Rangers do it. I do like the underdog to come through. Moving on, who wins the Premier League? 3-horse race. Very tight.
It is very tight. Obviously, Liverpool shut their pants a little bit on the weekend. Should have smashed Man United, and that isn't even a dig at you. Like, they should have been about 5-0 up.
No dig. That was one of the most one-sided first halves going.
Completely screwed up, and Bruno Fernandes scored a worldie, and then they sort of had their tails up a little bit. But I find it very difficult to look past Man City for anything, to be honest with you. They're just a juggernaut of a team. Arsenal, are, very good and look a lot more hard-nosed than they've been historically down the years. But, they've just been like, oh, it's Klopp's farewell. Oh, Liverpool. They'll probably end up freaking winning it, won't they?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Man City.
Yeah, I think from a Sorare perspective, Arsenal feels like the team that's been more reliable in who you can pick and stack, and they've been drubbing teams, keeping defensively pretty sound. So
I'd like to see Arsenal win it, just purely from a footballing standpoint, because I'm getting a little bit sick of Man City and Liverpool going back and forth. Man City having about 150 fucking charges against their name for financial fair play. I'd like to at least see a different team do something.
Yeah. Speaking of charges, Everton -2 points again this week. Your second point deduction of the season, sucking you back into the relegation battle.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we finally get a win. First win since December, and then Premier League go, are you fucking having a laugh, mate? We'll have those 2 points back off you. So I'm just going to, in my head, say that we drew at home to Burnley rather than beat them, because that would be...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if
we're
going to ball into Calvert-Lewin, then it would have been a draw anyway.
We are contesting the charge, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get another point back. I don't know, but
I don't think you get those back unless you get Man City's lawyer in, and then you'll probably be right. Yeah, I think I don't really want any of them to win, but I think I'd probably go for. I think Man City would be my choice because better the devil, they just let them keep winning it, rather than someone else coming in. I think. I just really feel like it's written that Klopp's going to win it in his farewell season.
And they'd fucking love it. It's like the pundits would be all over it. Oh,
yeah.
What legacy.
But yeah, I think, unfortunately. We'll move on. Who wins the Champions League?
I'm going to go for Man City again. Obviously, pretty mental first leg away to Madrid. Yesterday? No, day before yesterday. 3-3, wasn't it? Was it 3-3? Yep. Yeah. Some absolute worldy goals. I think that's pretty good result for Man City away at the Bernabeu. So
lots of decisives for our Continental Knights teams.
Yeah, except for Bellingham mainly for me. But I think Man City's to lose again. To be honest, I mean, there's a lot of strong teams in there. Obviously, Bayern Munich did well and. Away at Arsenal, Barcelona beat PSG away, so obviously a lot of good teams, but I'm going to go for Man City.
Okay, who wins the English Championship?
See, I really just thought Ipswich would fall away, and it does seem that no one wants to win it. The last week, it's been Ipswich drew, didn't they? Leicester lost to Millwall, Leeds drew as well, I think. Southampton.
Leeds drew and lost.
That's it. Southampton have got like a little mini charge, but they've just left it a little bit too late, I think. They've got a couple of games in hand, but, they always say it's better to have the points on the board, don't they, than have the games in hand. But so what my answer is, as I'm having a very broad answer to every question, is I'm going to go, I was going to go for Leicester. It's not really saying much, but I'm going to go for Leicester. I do think they're just a little bit too strong, and maybe their blip has just happened already, and they'll end up winning the last 5 games in a row.
Yeah, fall apart the least.
I'd love to see Ipswich come up there, wouldn't you? I think, I can remember them coming up in the Titus Bramble, Marcus Stewart days, and then qualifying for Europe in their first season. Do you remember? It was didn't they play like AC Milan? They drew AC Milan or something in the Europe.
Yeah, those are the days. All right, who wins the? We're going to finish a Continental Knights competition off. So who wins the Europa League? And why is it Bayer Leverkusen?
Yeah, well, I was going to say Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen haven't lost a game this entire season in any competition, I believe, still, which is a bit mad. You look at their squad, it's insane. They're now winning tonight, aren't they? Away at home to West Ham. I think they would have probably... Oh, they're winning 2-0. They've just scored another goal.
Ooh, that's not great for me, but...
Not Palacios on either, unfortunately. But I was going to say they would have liked probably more of a 1-0, more than a 1-0 going into West Ham. So they got 2-0 now. So, yeah, I'd love to see Benfica do well. I've got a bit of a penchant for Benfica and a lot of their players on Sorare. They've won tonight as well, 2-1. So there'd be my heart would like to see Benfica win, but I'm going to go for Bayer Leverkusen.
Still a 73 from Fabianski, even though he's conceded 2, and a 90 from Palacios with no decisives. So we're still in 26th here. We're still on.
That's very good. Is that a tier 2? Is it? And a box? Is that what type of box is it? If you click on that thing, because if it might not be standard. View prize pool. It will say.
View prize pool.
Click on the box there.
Rare premium box.
Premium.
3% chance of a signed jersey.
Oh my fucking god! Imagine.
5% of a tier 5.
So what's the percentage of a boost there? Sorry to completely at the bottom.
83%.
So you've got a 17% chance of winning something else.
Breaking the loot box duck. Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's high.
Yeah. All right, and then finally, who's going to win the Conference League?
I'm going to go for Fiorentina. I've always liked Fiorentina.
Great kit. Always had a great kit. The Nintendo kit back in the day was incredible.
Yeah, and I've mentioned before, I love a good Serie A team. Remind me of my youth. Batistuta, they were absolute class. They've drawn 0-0 tonight away at Victoria Pletzen. So you'd like to think they'll do them in the second leg there at home. Go for Fiorentina for me.
So your Leverkusen, your Man City, and your Fiorentina cards going to have that extra utility towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. We talk winners, and now let's talk some losers. But first, time for me to slot in our plea to all our single amounts of fans watching. If you are joining us now or watching or listening afterwards, please could you like and subscribe and all that vibe and help us spread positivity all around the Sorare world. It's been very much appreciated by us. Cheers and thank you.
And I actually have a quick question for you.
Oh, go on then.
Before we move on to the main topic,
okay.
I'm going to share my screen and we can talk through it. Who are you going on holiday with? And where are you off to? Saw this on Twitter today, had a little chuckle at it myself. I will be going to a lovely romantic trip to New York with Steve Bruce, the fat pantomime dame that is Steve Bruce. Where will you be off to?
So for those who are just listening, this is one of those social media posts where each birth month has a different place in the world and each day of the month has a different manager. So put your birthday month and your birth date together and you get to go on holiday with a football manager somewhere. And mine would be Cancun spring break with Jose Mourinho.
Ooh, that'd be all right. I think it'd be good to have a little night out in Marino. He'd tell you some stories, wouldn't he?
Spring break. We might feel slightly, old at spring break. But I suppose we could make a day session out of it, call it a night earlier.
Slightly worried that my missus would be going to Disneyland with Steve Evans, that really fat manager that can't remember who he manages now. He used to manage Crawley.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I usually think these things are very lame, but actually I did have a little chuckle earlier. There's Sam Allardyce there. So if you're born on the 7th of July, you are going to Benidorm with Sam Allardyce, which I'm pretty sure Sam Allardyce permanently lives in Benidorm. I'm not mistaken.
Seems like he probably founded Benidorm, didn't he? If anyone, Sam Allardyce,
drinking his pints of gravy. But yeah, no,
I think I could tick off a life goal going to Cancun spring break with Jose Mourinho. That would be some story. Probably get a little Netflix documentary out of that, 3-parter.
Yeah,
me and Jose.
There's some good ones there. I think you got a pretty nailed on that Gareth Southgate's going to be going to Centre Parks. I'd say out of those 12. He's that type of chap, isn't he? I'd say. But yeah, no, lovely little. If you want to have a go at it yourself, it's at JLA_FC on Twitter. He's posted it. But yeah, very funny little thing.
Let us know your results. Gareth Southgate, after he finishes up at Disneyland, wins the Euros, and then I imagine probably takes over at Man United awfully.
Oh God, potentially yes.
When he could have one of the most powerful international stacks ever assembled going for him at the Euros this year, couldn't he? Your boy Jordan Pickford, Foden, Bellingham, Kane, insert English defender that you like the most out of like Trippier, Shaw, Maguire, Stones. Let's say Stones, ball play, or Maguire, ball playing. Maybe if Trippier started, he'd have the set pieces, but yeah. Maybe you could switch Saka in if you wanted instead of Foden.
It's tough, yeah. I still need to complete my stack. I've got 2 places to fill, but yeah, I hope it goes well. I mean, I love Gareth Southgate. He's a he's a nice chap, but I just don't know if he's got it in him. I'm not sure.
I think he doesn't get the credit for the job he's done at England that he deserves.
I agree. Like, he's done a fantastic job, and I actually feel mildly patriotic for the first time in my entire adult life because of him.
And I've got excellent value out of going to the pub during international tournaments because of him, because we keep going so deep into them, which is great. So I applaud him for that. That's all I want basically at the start of a competition, is to get those extra pub dates in as you go later on. But I just don't think he's got the charisma, has he, or the like flamboyance for some football fans to really buy into him. But yeah.
But fuck it, we're going to win the Euros. Come on!
Come on! All right, we still got Keeper Club and some other bits to get through. But I want to go over some of the social media grumblings and then some of the specials that we've got coming up. But yeah, social media grumblings. A lot of whinging going on lately, isn't there? I mean, there's always some whinging going on.
Yeah, always a fair amount, but yeah.
And I guess that's because people find it easier when they got something to moan about, maybe, than to write something like, yes, I'm relatively happy at the moment with the product. It's not something you usually say, is it? No. So are they valid or are they just whinging? So overall, are we all too entitled on the product, on Sorare?
I think it really does depend of your whole experience of Sorare when you came on board. Like for us, maybe we're a little bit more understanding of it because we started so early that we were there when the prices were low in general. And, you know, obviously we bought some cards when it did have their massive rise and we've taken a bit of a hit on them. But for people that, you know, had fully invested in it at the time where it was at its peak and it's now where it is, then you can see, you know, why they might be a little bit upset, I guess. But I'm not sure it's necessarily Sorare's fault. I mean, you know, they have a little bit try to run before they can walk, I think, with some things. They've kind of overcomplicated certain areas of the game. And I understand they're trying to keep so many different people happy that it's probably quite hard.
I think...
I don't know. I mean, it depends on each person's individual circumstances. And also it's worth noting that it's very rare that someone that's happy, which there'll be way more people happy with Sorare than unhappy. They don't tweet. It's why would you go and tweet that? It's more of a thing to tweet when you're unhappy. So you don't see a lot of good reviews of things. You always usually see bad reviews, don't you?
I think Sorare Twitter is like an echo chamber of like pissed off people. I do think people that came in at the peak in like the boom and just after it, I don't know, have seen nothing but like free fall in their prices. I can understand why they would have some like resentment. It's not supposed to be a financial investment. It's a fun game. You buy cards, you pay to buy cards to play and try and win something big or like the enjoyment. I play it because it's fun.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble in the game, isn't it? It's a you know, there's got to be some sort of, I'm happy to pay some money to play this game, like not like thousands of pounds, but you know, I think people forget that, you know, they're also a business trying to, you know, make money. They can't just make money all the time. Yeah,
it's sort of a cash cow at the start, though, wasn't it? Like when a lot of things are new, but yeah, I do feel for the people that just joined at the top and crashed down. I can see why they whinge a lot, but I do think that some people feel like they should win more. Like people should be winning more. There should be more prizes, more money, more everything. And like, I don't think we can all win like 70% of the time. It doesn't work.
I know it wouldn't work. You know, you need a certain amount of losing to be able to allow people to win. Not everyone can win. I think, you know, I've seen a lot of people whinge about their scores in these new challenger, contender, and champion modes, but without actually thinking that the bonus of captain's gone up. So like, you know, a score of 375, say now in any of those competition might not get you a card because, you know, the 50% bonus on top now is probably adding, you know, a good 20 points onto each of those scores you needed for a tier 5, tier 4, tier 3 and above. You know, I've seen people reply to people's whinging being like, did you honestly think 360 was going to win a card? Like, you ain't going to win a card with that. And it would have won you a card maybe a couple of years ago. So, you know, people not understanding necessarily the changes that have happened and not realizing. I don't know. I mean, I do think they need to sort out the card prizes a little bit. I don't think I should be winning more cards. I think if I win a tier 3 card or, you know, a star card or whatever, I want it to be a star card or a tier 3 card. It does seem a little bit like you win cards that aren't in the right tiers quite a bit. Or like they use goalkeeper cards as like because goalkeeper cards have decent value because they're goalkeepers, but actually they're not star players at all. They're just random ass goalkeepers from fucking some Turkish 10th team that no one wants. But they're a keeper, so they got value. But if you're looking purely at their name, people want to win names, people they know. Do you know what I mean?
The keeper thing you just said is interesting because we just did a prize opening video, which you can find on our channel if you want to see what prize they won. But we got like 2 DNP goalies, didn't you? And it's like the value's there, but that's very underwhelming and not exciting to open. But I would rather win something than not. And maybe the goalies, it's hard to judge. But I was just looking at what you said about what it used to take to win. Did we used to have points in the thousands?
Yeah, so the very early part, it was ridiculous.
So I won a Gustav Svensson for 11th place. He was a tier 0.
Wow.
And I got 2,600 points.
Who does he play for now?
He's definitely retired.
Yeah, he was 32 in
Look at all these top 50 places we have in tier 0s. So it changed up 250s. Yeah, these are the days. 4-man teams winning in the mid 200s.
Brad Knighton, the least looking like a footballer I've ever seen.
Yeah. I still have these 2 here. Hatsusi and Takao still belong in a club. And Gay, actually. So, yeah. Cool. 316, 266. Yeah, 298. 204. I got tier 3 and under 23s.
Hey, but that was when tier 3 was the lowest tier, wasn't it?
Yes, there wasn't. We didn't go down to tier 5 back then.
Yeah.
All of these are in the 200s. Those are the days, weren't they?
They really were the days.
192 to get a Christian Paredes super rare.
But like if you look at it now though, like we win way more cards now than we did then. Way more.
Yeah, but we got the lower tier ones to give out now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
it's tough. I mean, whinging is allowed. I will allow whinging. It's fine, but you can't just whinge permanently.
No, and they do have to do some things. But it's overall the sense of some people, I just think that they should be more prizes than they probably could even manage to be. But let's go into some more specifics about the Sorare UI, the new UI. What are your views on it? I've seen a lot of people do not enjoy it. I am currently one of them does not enjoy it. What are your views?
I'm not. I like some bits of it, and some bits of it I don't like.
Well, there you go then. Wrapped.
I think it looks professional. I do like the sort of dark. It's like black and luminous. It's like Tron sort of. Like the vortex when you're seeing whether you got promoted or
I do like that bit.
That's cool. But I do think it needs quite a bit of work. It's quite clunky. I'd like to be able to minimize boxes quite well, or like manually move things around a bit more. Maybe that takes a lot of like behind the scenes stuff on their side. I don't know, but I'd like to be able to name my teams easier. I'd like to be able to. Yeah, there's quite a few things. I actually started writing a little list on my notes on my phone.
Go on then. Do you want to go through it?
No, it's very basic. I've only done one thing on it so far, but in my head, I've got like 3 or 4 things. I'm going to put on a list and tweet about it at some point. But it's better, I'd say. I would say it's better, but there's bits of this better thing that need a lot of work.
I find it quite hard on the day of trying to enter all my teams. I don't find it that intuitive. I constantly misclick something. I think these numbers and shields and things could be more differentiated between like classic and in-season stuff. You know,
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I don't like how when you've done a team, it's got a tiny little green tick on them to show that you've done a team. But like, it needs to be more pronounced than that. Like the tick should be on the right-hand side of the thing, not on the shield.
Also, how lame and underwhelming, like the names of the competitions. Premier League in season, Team 1, Premier League in season 2, Premier League Classic season, like Champion in season, Champion Classics. Like, I could do with a bit more variety there, a bit more, spice.
And like, I know it's obvious when you're setting your teams, like which leagues are covered in each thing. And, eventually you just remember. But like, show me somewhere easy on this screen here that tells me what leagues are included in Contender, what leagues are included in Challenger.
Well, Borussia Dortmund are in Champion.
Yeah, I mean, Champion's pretty self-explanatory, but like, it'd be good if you could maybe hover over the word Challenger and it would say leagues covered. Or
we just had all the logos underneath Contender of the leagues or something.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't. I'm not being dumb, am I? When you click on it, is there anywhere? Because usually, like when you click on individual things, it says the rules, like you have to have 4 in seasons or whatever.
It says up here in C requirements.
So
the leagues.
But it doesn't
go into it.
But it doesn't do that on the web browser on your phone.
Okay.
Which is where I set that's where I set all my lineups basically. And the app still isn't fit for purpose in my opinion. It's getting better, but it's still not at the point where I'm going to fully use the app rather than the web browser. I don't know about you, but I certainly much prefer the web browser than the app.
Yeah, I still use the web browser. That's mainly because I use it all with Sorare data as well. I'd much prefer their like lineup builder and then the saved lineup screen where I just have everything in like a line and I can just see all my teams and I can just click on and change what I want to do. It just feels so much easier and less stress. Maybe that's because I have a lot of teams to do and that's not everyone's problem. But yeah.
It also really annoys me how when you're doing your cap team, so if you go onto your screen, you were doing your teams for next week there on Sora, this is not Sora data.
Yeah.
Go down to doing a cap team. So cap 240, say. When you click on, say you click on the cap 240 tab at the top there, and then click add team in rare, say. Then you're like, oh, actually, maybe I don't want to do that. I'll do a cap 240 limited team. So you cross off. It like you have to go back into it again, or it's just, and then it defaults back to cap 220, even though you're on cap. It's just a bit clunky. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite right. I like it to just take you back to where you just were, rather than go back to the fucking start again.
I hope maybe by the time August comes around, this transition phase is over. Like they've got another fresh rendition. When I guess they won't have global or cap, will they? And things will be maybe spiced up a little bit. So yeah. So yeah, that was one of the gripes people seem to be having, and I actually agree with it slightly. That the UI doesn't feel as great. It's like I prefer Sorare data, which Sorare should be better than anyone that works with their product. DNPs, the never-ending topic of DNPs.
And subs, you mean?
Yeah, with subs. Would the game be better with subs?
Absolutely not, in my opinion. Okay. Subs, no. It just takes away a part of skill. There's certain DNPs. Like, okay, let me put this in context. If someone starts someone that is either a 50% doubt and they turn out to be in DNP, that's your own fault. If someone starts someone who's actually just fully out and they've started them, but they've got a sub, then I don't think they should be fucking getting rewarded for not doing any research whatsoever. And then their sub just coming on and getting their score up. Do you know what I mean? If there's certain different types of DNPs. There's just DNPs which are completely not heard of by anyone and they just pop up. And that is really frustrating, don't get me wrong. And, I could count hundreds of times where I was one score away from getting a freaking star rare and I had a DNP or whatever, and you could as well. And in those instances, I can get why a sub might make sense, but how would they even do it? like the person you had as your sub, you wouldn't be able to use anywhere else in any other team. Like how they'd have to be so much coding behind the scenes if you still used that sub in a different team as a starter, but then if you want them to be your sub as well, that wouldn't work.
I don't think you'd have to like have a set sub for a team, I think.
But then how would you choose? Like how would you choose? Because you'd want your sub to be strong, but if he's strong, you probably want to be starting him somewhere else.
I think the one I really don't like is the rolling locks. Because
I don't like rolling locks.
I already put too much time of my life into playing Sorare. I don't want to then be glued to all of the lineups throughout the weekend of my teams coming out.
Because mental.
You basically have games playing overnight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all through the days. Like I can't just be spending all time trying to pick up subs. I think that would just.
I guarantee the people pushing that are people who have got slightly smaller galleries. It just wouldn't work. For
some people who are like so nailed in and love like being 100% looking at every game, whatever, that's fine. But the vast majority just would be at such a disadvantage of rolling locks. The subs thing, I personally know. I think the one I saw this come up was someone. The same thing happened to me. That when Man City went off and scored like bazillion points, but Haaland didn't play. I think I got 406 points. With a Haaland DNP and someone else did, and they were like, "This is bullshit. I should be allowed a sub. This is bollocks." I was like, "Well, no. If you're going to stack one of the best teams in the game, which happens a lot with the teams near the top of the league, rotation is a massive possibility. So that's a risk you take by stacking good teams and good players,
and not just stacking any team, stacking someone who's known to do random drop-ins all the time."
Yeah,
with Pep Guardiola. Like, I just feel DNPs is part of the game. It's just part. It's always been part of fantasy football, like going back long before Sorare. Obviously, I think now Rivals has come in. It's maybe given people that like chance to make subs effectively, and not just subs during the game. It's like you can change your lineup up to 1 minute before the game starts, can't you? So like it's maybe brought it to people's forefront of their mind a little bit more. But it works so well.
It works so well in Rivals because it's all the same team, though.
Exactly, and also
so like once.
And I'm thinking of rolling logs, like that works in NFL fantasy really well because there's like 4 potential fixture times throughout the whole week.
Yeah.
Like there's 4, so there's not a huge amount of research required there. Like if you're trying to do rolling locks for freaking every single league in the world that's covered, it'd be chaos. Think how much would go wrong in the Sorare. You'd be getting Sorare flipping notifications on Discord every week going like, "Oh, we screwed this up. Oh, this has gone wrong. Oh, something's gone." Like it would be a night. They'd never be able to end the flipping game week and give people prizes because it'd just be chaos.
That being said, I wouldn't mind like one-off special that's related to one competition or like one thing where I don't know if they possibly could because of the amount of work it would take, but that had subs or rolling locks, like a special for something like a Champions League night or one league or something like occasionally. Like I don't mind different game modes when they're specials, but absolutely not in the main ones because it's part of the fun is trying to nail your team and get it correct players in. I guess smaller galleries who don't have many people to choose from, it hurts, but then the bigger galleries are just going to have such powerful backups to come in. They can afford to have a spare card just sat as a sub. It wouldn't work for me. Sometimes you take that risk of that player's only 60% to start, but he'd fit really well. He's got a really good fixture. Should I put him in? Hope he doesn't DNP.
How would it work with like players' positions as well? Like if you like whoever you started as your outfielder who's got 2 of the same position, so 2 midfielders, say, like how would you if one of those didn't play, but if like your forward didn't play, but your midfielder was on the bench, he couldn't come on, could he? Because there'd be 3 midfielders in your starting team then. Like it's just a lot. It takes so much thought and it's just a big no for me. Just get over it and deal with bloody DNPs. It's part of the game. Sometimes it works out in your favour because it means a big player that everyone else has started and you haven't is DNP'd. So that's helped you out in your leaderboard because it means you haven't got that DNP. And sometimes it works not in your favour. It's just part of the game.
Okay, so we're both going to side on the no subs.
No subs.
Controversial topic. 2 no subs here.
But also, whilst we're talking the worst things about Sorare, just not Sorare as in the game, the Sorares in being part of Sorare is when you get that DNP that game where you like your other 4 players have gone absolutely ham and you're just like, fuck, what have I made that decision? Or like, I knew he was a risk. Like, why did I do it? It's so heartbreaking. So I get it, but still no subs for me.
Yeah, it is. Like Kevin De Bruyne was ill this week, wasn't he? Like, he couldn't start. And
you had the one just gone as well with Ortega starting in Champions League over Edison, and you still won a prize with four players, didn't you? So
yeah. And I had the Haaland didn't play when the rest of the team went for like 410. Yeah, it is part of it. But then I do understand that I run out probably more teams than average user. So maybe it slightly softens the impact sometimes for me, unless it's like your best couple of teams. But yeah, all right, we're going to go for no subs. So let's talk about the Continental Knights Specials. This has seen a lot of criticism, didn't it, when it came out? People were pretty pissed off about, I think mainly because they couldn't use all their stars in one team, right? Like, I've got an Arsenal stack or a Real Madrid stack. I spent a lot of money on these. They're in the Champions League, which, they're still in the Champions League, which used to be a big advantage, wouldn't it? If you're still in the midweek when the other teams come out, why can't I use them all in the same one? Why do I have to have a shitter to include? And buying that shit, why do I have to buy a shitter? I don't want to buy a shitter to run a team. So yeah, I saw that quite a lot, wasn't it? And I guess one of the things come back was you still got All-Star and you still got Cap, haven't you? So like, that's fine. You can run one, but you can only run one team in All-Star, and Cap still has cap limitations. Maybe Cap 270, you can get some in. And then they were saying, well, in August, we won't even have those. So when it happens next season, you'd like to hope maybe they do special weeklies for it there. But yeah, what did you think of the Continental Knights midweek specials?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I wasn't a huge fan of the fact they combined the European and Central American one personally, because I just think they're completely different competitions. Like, they're so wildly different in the quality of football that I thought maybe they could do 2 different midweek competitions for them personally. But yeah, I can see. I hadn't thought about that thing with the stack, because you can only have 3 maximum from one team, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was what the rules were, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing that I immediately thought was what you just said was, well, if you've got a full Arsenal stack, go and stick it in All-Star, mate, because a lot of people with Arsenal players will be sticking them in Continental. So actually, you're probably best off sticking them in All-Star. You've got a better chance of a prize. So I just think people forget to see the positives in doing the other thing sometimes.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people that asked for different competitions. Like it smacks of like specialists it used to be, didn't it? The 1 under 40 and then 2.
It evens the playing field, doesn't it? I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, if you've got to have someone that's under 40 in there, then everyone, doesn't matter whether you're Pranksy or freaking someone who's just started last week, has to have some person who's either doing really shit or has like barely been playing in their team. And it does even the playing field out. I guess it's to sort of give everyone a little bit more of an equal footing in the competition. You're only allowed 2 above 60 as well, weren't you? So that sort of helps as well with that. You can't just completely low. You can't just do like 4 people that are averaging 80 and 1 person under 40. Like, it's a good mix, and I like it. But yeah, I feel like it could have been just a little mini weekly thing rather than this like big extra thing that they were doing. I don't know.
I like it. I agree that you shouldn't. I don't think you should mix the European and the American competitions, because I think the European competitions are major and they're such big powerhouses against each other, and that maybe it was advantage. I haven't actually looked at what the South American teams' scores were like compared to, but we did get some goal fests in the Champions Leagues and stuff, so maybe that was all right. But yeah, you can still use your cards every weekend, couldn't you? You could use them last weekend and you can use them this weekend. And is having those massive still in Europe cards actually that much advantage, because they're getting rested all over the place
it's hard
to mix with these. But I do see when people go, I buy the cards and I want to use them when they've got a game. But yeah, you could maybe use a couple in a cap competition and then an all-star stack and maybe a couple in Continental Nights. But yeah, why should you have to go out? You don't have to go out and buy an under 40. You can just put your cards in all-star, take your medicine, wait for the weekend. But I like different game modes. I've always liked the weeklies, and I've always liked when they mix it up. And yeah, I think they're cool. I want more crazy special weeklies and things like that. For me, I like it.
And you've done well in it because you've got 26th place or whatever it is. 28th.
Yeah, we got tier 2. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I do like it. I can see there is some valid complaints, but again, when we're out the transition phase and we're into next year, I'd like to see, I think a lot of people have said this and we've said it before, like they've just released a special weekly like calendar, haven't they, for the few in advance. I'd like to see that so we're all aware of what's coming up in the month ahead so people can plan a bit better. And I think that would help.
Agreed.
Alleviate some of the issues. Before we go in and talk about the special weeklies, we got Liverpool, we got the new special weekly schedule, we got the K-League thing as well, haven't we? We do have a monumental event.
Oh,
can you guess what it is?
Is it through the saxophone? Oh, look at that. Easy.
Cut the sax. All right. Keepers Club. Keepers Club 2024. The rules of Keepers Club 2024 is score 100 in a game week and you get free entry to Keepers Club and bottle service all night long for the rest of the year. We have 3 new entrants. It was a very slow start to Keepers Club this year, wasn't it? And now come alive. They've come alive. And we have 3 new entrants today. Robin Zentner, Mio Backhouse, and Jesus Ruiz. There we go. I hope I didn't butcher your league, guys. Butcher your names, guys. Yeah, crowded in there now. Bottle service all night for these guys. Popping off in there now. Yeah, what a time to be alive. So
I thought we were going to get another one in there tonight with Fabianski. He was on what? Was he on 100 at one point?
Fabianski, I did have the 100 notification come up, but he has fallen short. So let me take you through how they got in there. Jesus Ruiz was the latest one to go in with 100.7.
Oh, tight.
Just about getting in there. What teams are these?
That's Racing Santander and Alcacorn, I think.
It is Alcacorn and Racing Santander. Excellent knowledge.
I know so much random shit because it's so rare now.
So much random shit because it's so rare. Alcacorn, yeah, the penalty getting him over there. The penalty pushing his total over the threshold, and Jesus Ruiz is in Keepers Club.
Nice.
He has joined another young stud. A lot of young players in there this year. We noticed, haven't we? The young man's game.
I hope he's bought his ID.
Mio Backhouse.
In as well.
Volendam versus Feyenoord. Volendam, isn't it? Versus Feyenoord. Yeah, picking up the 100 with a 40 all-around score. Tiny. No decisives, just bashing out that 100. 11 saves, 7 from inside the box, 2 high claims, 2 diving saves, a keeper sweeper.
Amazing.
You know, being a keeper myself, I've got to shout these boys out. This is what we need Keeper Club for. Mio Backhouse.
Yeah, I'm a keeper now as well because I'm basically covering you because you broke your arm. So
yeah,
both keepers here.
Yeah, Mio Backhouse is in the house, and the third member joining the club this week was Robin Zentner, a positively old man at 29 for the generation this year.
I've got a very good fact about Robin Zentner, actually.
Have you? Well, let's hear it. Here you go. Robin Zentner fact time.
So I was looking up Champion Europe rare keepers recently, so I wanted to switch some of mine out. I ended up buying Maury Dior or something, plays for Clermont-Foot. But I was looking at Robin Zentner, and I was like, I recognise that guy's name. I can't remember what the hell the reason why I remember it. Searched it on Twitter, and he was that keeper.
Hang on, I just started playing Galores and Dance.
Carry on. He was that keeper that did that very funny clip where he stopped the ball and it, like, by his penalty spot, and then it kept rolling and he thought the penalty spot was the ball, and he goes to kick it. Have you seen that video?
Oh yeah, and he just kicks in there.
Yeah, and he just kicks in there and shits his pants because he doesn't realise the ball's gone behind him and was about to go into the net. That is that keeper, Robin Zenter, I think. Did
someone round him and score?
I don't think it ended up going in, to be honest. I think he ended up saving. I can't remember that exact part of the fact, but I just remember thinking, how the fuck has he confused the penalty spot for the fucking football?
Okay, right, we'll have to find Robin Zenter's fuck up, and we'll link it in the description below. There you go.
But he didn't fuck up this week because he got 100, so good man.
Mine's keeper nowadays, Robin Zentner, 46.3 AA, taken into 100, 50 total goalkeeping score, 9 saves, 7 from inside the box, 4 high claims, 2 punches, 3 diving saves, 50 in his goalkeeping.
What's a good high claim? How do they define a good high claim?
Yeah, who an Optus sat there going, nah, mate, that's an average high claim.
That's just an average. That's a poor high claim.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird one, isn't it? Who's defining it? But anyway, he's in. And here they all are.
It's getting busy. You're going to have to start, getting some bouncers in here because it's getting pretty hectic.
Yeah, we're going to have to redesign the club because the dance floor is running out of room. But yeah, that is now... What's that? 10 members, wow. 10 goalkeepers with 100 so far this season. Fabianski, this close to joining them. He was on 100.
And Pickford almost joined as well, didn't he? Got 96 or something in 1 week. Oh,
Pickford almost there. We do have one Premier League representative, though. Fabianski's better half, Areola.
Against Everton in the game that I watched.
Yeah. There we go. Keepers Club. Saxophone music all night long.
Love it.
Let's move on to the special weeklies to finish. Let's go for the K-League special one to start. Why not?
Yeah.
Lingard, what do you think of it? Headed by Jesse Lingard, who's having a crap time in Korea.
Who saw that coming? Nobody.
Yeah.
I think these are good. I'm probably not going to enter it because I don't have any cards and I don't really want to buy any Korean cards. But I think I might have won a couple of Korean cards, actually. Maybe I'm close to being able to enter a team. I like them. I think they're good. They're going to keep people happy, especially as Korean fans were not particularly happy in the last 18 months or year with the Opta issues over there. It's going to be a similar sort of thing to the Winter Premier League one, isn't it? Going to be all ETH based, I believe.
Here's Jesse Lingard's start to life in Korea. Being accused of being lazy, and
that's so weird because no one else has accused him of being lazy in his entire career, have they? He's never had that problem.
Who'd have thought it would happen to him? Yeah, so there's 100 grand in total, isn't there? Runs game week. Yeah, 3 game weeks, like the MLS one we've just had.
Yeah.
The prize pools actually look fairly tasty. I haven't compared them to the other ones, but just looking at them, they look decent.
It's the sort of thing where I saw about, with Pranksy winning everything in the MLS one for 3 weeks. He just saw the opportunity here, like actually analysed those 3 boxes and thought, look, if I put in 3 grand, 5 grand, whatever the hell he put in, loads more than that. But into
30.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm just talking rare and limited here, but yeah, you would have bought super rares and uniques as well. But if you put in 1,000, you just got to have that initial funding, which obviously neither of us have. But if you do well and pick the right players, and there's only a certain amount of probably really elite players in the K League, I'd say, you're going to make money. You're going to make 100% make money. It's not going to be something I'm going to enter, and I certainly don't have the disposable income to be doing that. But these are good opportunities for people who do have these types of galleries to make a bit of money. And you did well in the Premier League one, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I have chased them before, I'm going to go for this. But I haven't with the MLS one that just came. I did have my Austin cards, but it didn't quite. I think I cashed one low time. But yeah, I don't have many Korean cards. I have one that I won, I think. So yeah, I'm not going to be entering this. I don't, because they become in slightly more frequent, and we have the cash only win in season competitions now, which sort of feels like it scratches that itch for me. Like these of just cash wins specials. I know obviously they've got a higher payout. It just doesn't feel as like exciting to me now. Maybe, and because they've been so early in the season, and since the cards have been released, I haven't really built up any of the cards yet. So maybe if they do some later on in the season, you know, when you've won a few cards and that whole system of winning them in Classic, using them in season has like progressed a bit more because we've won a few more cards in Classic, there might be a bit more of interest to me because I presume,
I guarantee when are the 3 game weeks they're doing it from? Is it next week? Oh, a couple of weeks. I guarantee the prize pools for the week before will be absolutely filled with Korean cards. Because they'll want people to be like, oh, I've got one now. Maybe I'll fucking buy another couple. Like, guarantee it. And that's probably a good idea, to be honest.
Makes good business sense, doesn't it?
If I win a Korean card, I'll probably bloody do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to do a J League one. I could definitely see me doing some of the European ones if the new season starts. When the new season starts after the Euros and stuff, I could definitely see me doing some of those. But yeah, I've got one DMP goalie, I think. J League. Yeah, so probably not for me. Probably not for me, sadly. But I do like these competitions, and they are good for people who, you know, collect in those areas. Agreed. Let's go on to the special weekly schedule that was dropped on 2 days ago. So this is what a lot of us have been asking for, right? A bit more clarity so we know what's going on. We got the European Nights special weekly, April the 16th. So next midweek, cap 280. The 4 European Nights competitions you can enter for this are the 4 normal scarcities, the 3 European Continental Leagues. So this covers what we said earlier when we didn't want the American ones mixed with our European ones. 3 multi-entry again. Cap 280. So season bonus, card XP, collection bonus, and 20% captain bonus. Like the sound of that one? This is sort of like what a lot of people were asking for this week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. It does it say anything about any could only have up to 3 cards from each team? I don't think it does it? So you can stack teams. Just trying to think if I've even got a goalkeeper for that. Don't think I do. But I think it's good. Was hoping they do something like that for this week that didn't include America. Just did 2 separate ones, like you said. But no, I think it's a good idea. Cap 280 is new as well. We usually get 270 or no cap at all, don't we? So obviously they're trying to allow that just a little bit of extra leniency because there's going to be so many high cap players in it, obviously. But
yeah, exactly. You're dealing with like the creme of the league.
They really need to do good competitions for the European Nights stuff because let's be honest, a lot of the world mainly watched the Champions League, the Europa League, annoyingly, the Liverpool, Man City, Real Madrid, that's the biggest teams in the world, isn't it? So they really need to nail down those competitions for those competitions.
Stars will be stars.
Yes.
They have slightly raised the highest cap. Yeah, I think this is what a lot of people that wanted from this midweek, wasn't it? They're probably 280 still like restricts you slightly, doesn't it? Well, a fair amount. You couldn't be going in and putting, say, Rodri, De Bruyne, Diaz.
Rodri's 80 at the moment.
Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it?
It's an absolute joke.
And he said he needs a rest because he's been in a poor bit of form.
He's a machine.
He's absolutely crazy, but yeah, so that's more of a standard competition, it feels like, doesn't it? More of a standard cap competition, whereas I did like this one's midweek, but maybe not without the other competitions in. But it brings us to the senior special weekly. Apparently, you're a senior now if you're over 30.
Yeah, so we're full seniors.
Positively geriatric.
Yeah.
It used to be 32, didn't it? Now it's 30. So 5-player card lines. This is from April the 26th. You've got to be all of your cards got to be over 30, 20% captain bonus, which gets those 50% haters away. And yeah, all competitions, multi-entry. I like this one.
I absolutely love this one. We've talked about this before, getting an old boy one in, because half my freaking cards I bought 5 years ago, and they're all over 30 now. So, yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to this. I'm sure a lot of people are. I saw a lot of people commenting on Twitter about it, and
I don't know what game weeks are like. What's playing in that game week? If you know what I mean.
I think it's just a normal game week. I think it's just a normal all leagues. That's the league we're away for Stag Do.
But it's a midweek, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Senior Special Weekly. Oh, maybe not then. Sorry, I just maybe got in my head that they were all.
Also, 26th to 30th, 26th to 17th. That's not even a week.
No, it's one game week, isn't it?
But that's not. I mean, I don't mean like that's not a game week.
Yeah, it's Friday to Tuesday.
Sorry,
so yeah, it's a weekend one.
I'm being an idiot.
Me too.
I was thinking it was 4 days from Friday to Tuesday for some reason.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do special weeklies in midweek, but no, this is a weekend one.
Okay.
Really like that. Love it. Give me more of those.
Agreed.
Underdog specialists. I've always liked them. Senior. And there's going to be loads of options with over 30, like loads of options. So there should be a lot of like creative teams in that. Yeah, and then European Night Special Weekly comes back on April 30th with a cap of 290.
So I guess that'll be the semis, won't it?
Yeah, so minimum 3 in-season cards this time.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, makes sense.
Prize pool of 50k across all scarcities.
That's a lot for one thing.
That is heavy because obviously they've changed from the one we've got next week. Is that you now need the in-season cards, but there's 50 grand up for play. I guess they've raised the cap because you're presuming the best teams are in the semi-finals, and it'll be hard to fit. You haven't got as many options for a start, and you'll be playing with more elite players probably, with less rotation. So yeah, it makes sense to raise the cap, and that's a tasty prize pool for a midweek. So yeah,
I mean, I might get $5 of it if I'm lucky, but
yeah,
it's still like a bit of fun, isn't it? And you know, if I can put a team in, I'd like to try and put a team in for that.
Man City or Bayern with my stack, so that would be good. So obviously we talked about the K-League Special Weekly, and then they're going to have a J-League Special Weekly, which I presume is going to be exactly the same. I prefer J-League to K-League, so that'd be nice. Probably be more interested in that, depending on when it come out. If I pulled 1 or 2 cards from boxes from Classic by then, you know, I would probably buy 1 or 2 more to enter J-League Special Weekly because I think J-League is awesome. And then, not sure what's going on here. Yeah, Global All-Star and All-Star staying till the end of transition. Special weekly competition will pick up the pace and take over to ensure you can always play your favourite cards around exciting concepts. I like exciting concepts.
Legends.
When legends. Bring back my legends. Yeah. But yeah, we have just rolled over the hour mark. I have one more thing I wanted to ask you before we go. Will you be playing the Liverpool FC Special Weekly this weekend for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Anfield Stadium?
Absolutely fucking not. I've seen everyone going on about, oh, such a good time. I went there last time. I mean, fair dues, it probably was a good time, but fuck off. Anfield, shithole. And also, they just got beat 3-0 at home to Atlanta tonight in Europe. So that is incredibly pleasing. But I'm sure Klopp will blame something like the wind for that. But yeah, I won't be entering that, and I'm sure you won't be either.
No, I think that is some very, very nice prizes for everyone except a Man United and Everton fan on this show. So no, but it does sound cool and a great experience. But I only have one Liverpool player, which I won tonight, and I will be attempting to sell him before this competition. Maybe there's a good time to sell him, although Bobby Clark's probably not going to start.
But maybe that's why I sold Diogo Jota for a good price, actually. I didn't even think about that. Because if he is back this weekend, then, yeah, there we go.
All right, so that's a double no on Liverpool Special for us. But good luck to you if you enter it, and it is a cool prize, especially if you're a Liverpool fan, I guess. I think we can call it there for another week. Thank you to anyone that's joined us or is watching or listening afterwards. May the Decisives be with you this weekend. Another big weekend. I think everyone's back. Brazil are back now, so I think that's everyone. We got a full slate. Every league's open.
Exciting.
Go to time. Time to make some hay. Yeah. Have a good weekend, everyone. Good luck. Please like and subscribe and all that vibe on the way out. But for now, Viva la Thursday Club.
Up the toffees.